I'm ecstatic. There's few places like North Dakota in Division I volleyball, and I can't wait to come and start working with the team and see where we can go from here. But I'm super excited for the future of this program.
Any questions for Coach?
You started out, you said you started out recruiting already, so I mean, how much of this is going to take up your time here the next month or two to get ready for next year?
Yeah, I think it's a big part of coaching any sport in college. But especially as the transfer portal has started to change the game in college athletics, I think that's going to be another major aspect of it is who can we bring in that's going to help complement the current roster and help us win a Summit League title.
How many players do you expect to bring in for next season? Any idea, any target number?
Yeah, well, we have 4 athletes that are already signed for 2022 that'll be joining us. And then there will be a couple other roster positions that we have to fill as well. So we'll see what that final number will look like, but probably a couple more than we are currently bringing in.
You got a background in the Summit, right?
Correct.
What's the strength of this league?
The Summit League's only gotten better. I was at Denver for 3 years from 2016 to 2018. When I was there, we were pretty dominant in the Summit League. And since that time, South Dakota has improved greatly. Omaha's gotten way better, and the entire conference has improved. So it's exciting to see that this conference can go from being a one-bid conference to earning at-large bids to the NCAA tournament.
I mean, do you have a timetable where you want to get this program back to maybe where it was a couple of years ago? I mean, the tournament time, do you have a timetable for that?
Yeah, I think obviously it'll take a little bit of time to get us back to where we were. So it's not going to happen overnight, but I think it's something we can start doing from day one. And I'm excited to see what we can do in year 2 and year 3 and year 4 and what that would look like.
What about the facilities for volleyball? That's going to be a plus for you coming here, right?
Oh, it's unreal. I'm actually, my wife is a former volleyball player, and she played at the Betty when she was in college. And I remember coming here in 2018 when I was with the University of Denver the first year that North Dakota was in the Summit League, and experiencing the environment there and the passion from the fans and the community in Grand Forks. And honestly, that's one of the things that made me most excited about coming to North Dakota was because of the support that we have from the community.
So you were at Denver, UND was rolling pretty well. I'm sure you looked and saw the record the last 2 years. Were you surprised it fell off that much, or what? Have you looked into why maybe the program fell off so far?
I think there's always some challenges that are involved, and you never know, honestly, unless you're on the grind every single day in and out with the program, you never know what the specifics are of it. But I know that this program has a lot more potential than where they have been, and that's what I think I'm most excited about. Is it's not going to take much to get this program back to where it was.
Have you talked about filling up your staff yet, or had discussions with people about assistant coaching?
Yeah, that's step one is let's get the right people on the bus. Let's make sure that we have people in here that are going to help these athletes grow as volleyball players, but also as people, and make sure that we have really good mentors and models for them to look up to and learn from.
You're taking over a program, though, that clearly something has happened and something has gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been a part of a rebuild like that, and how do you approach that, especially with some of those young women that are still here who went through a tough time?
Yeah, I'm coming just from spending the last 3 seasons at the University of New Mexico, and we were in a pretty similar position there. And New Mexico has a pretty strong history of volleyball at the school, and they had fallen off a little bit. And we just actually finished one of the best years that New Mexico had in the last decade. And it was a lot of fun helping rebuild that program and rekindle the excitement both within the program and within the greater community in Albuquerque. And I'm excited to do that here with North Dakota as well.
You have that history in the Summit. Was this something like a league that you were keeping an eye on, that you were kind of hoping to get back to, looking at sort of maybe some of those openings?
Yeah, it's funny. When I came out to Grand Forks the first time in 2018 when I was with Denver, I actually called my wife on the phone the first night we were here, and I said, man, you would love Grand Forks. And ever since then, it's honestly North Dakota, not just the Summit League, but North Dakota has been a school that I've been really excited about. If there was ever an opportunity to come here, I would jump at the opportunity.
Being somebody who can rebuild a program, who can be a part of that, your experience in New Mexico, I'm sure, taught you a lot. What's the biggest takeaway you have from that you think will benefit these young women as you look to rebuild this program?
I think step one is building a really strong culture that creates a positive environment for the athletes and allows them the space and the freedom to be who they are and to learn to the best of their abilities. I think it's a lot harder to get better and to learn and grow when you're not comfortable or you're not in a position where you feel like you can do everything that you're capable of. So step one is creating a culture where they're free to go out and express themselves fully and to be the best athletes that they can be. I think step two is that we've got to get better at volleyball. As you said, I don't think last year was the year that they would hope that they could have had. And so can we start pounding the pavement right away and improving our skills and improving our tactics and our systems? And to be honest, we're not that far off. I have a pretty strong background in analytics, and we're one out-of-system serve and 2 in-system passes away from competing to be one of the best teams in the Summit League.
What do you mean you have a background in analytics? What's your background?
So I, not to get too in the weeds, but there's a program called Data Volley, which is where I started my coaching career at the collegiate level. And essentially, one of the things that I did early on in my career was create the Moneyball equivalent of volleyball.
I was gonna say, are you Billy Bean?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So that's where I started my career, especially not only at the collegiate level, but internationally as well. And so I've worked with multiple different national team programs with their analytics and helping them study the game and analyze the game in a way that can help them improve.
Is that something you're gonna bring here too?
100%, yeah, I'm excited to get going with it.
No, he's gonna stop that now. He really does.
What's your mentality on scheduling? You know, do you value playing those bigger schools? You've worked at some of those bigger schools, or you know, like what's your mentality on scheduling? You know, moving forward here in Grand Forks.
Yeah, I think if you want to be the best, then you've got to play the best. And you want to challenge yourself every single day. And sometimes that means that you're going to get beat up a little bit. And sometimes you're going to take some losses. But the best thing about losses is that they're opportunities to learn and get better. And so playing really good schools, whether they're within the Summit League or in non-conference play, that's only going to make us better every single day.
Your recruiting footprint, is that going to change from what UND's done in the past?
Well, I'm excited, one, that the University of North Dakota is already in an incredibly strong recruiting region as it is. From the Dakotas to Minnesota to the entire Midwest, that's one of the biggest hotbeds of volleyball in the country. And then obviously North Dakota's pool can grow from there to include places like Texas and Arizona and Florida and all of the Southwest.